With its futuristic and distinctive V-shaped delta wing and advanced aerodynamics, the Avro Vulcan became a hallmark of British engineering and excellence during the Cold War. But it was more than just a beautiful aircraft to look at. The Vulcan had the capability to perform at high altitudes and at high speeds. It was highly maneuverable for a bomber, and it came equipped with electronic warfare capabilities. It was also capable of delivering a nuclear bomb deep inside the heart of the Soviet Union. And at the time, they could do nothing to stop it. And for that reason, it was the most terrifying aircraft of the Cold War. In response to the nuclear threat posed by the Soviets, the British adopted a Quick Reaction Alert Posture, or QRA, in 1962. As part of the QRA force, at least 20 Vulcans were always fully fueled and loaded with live nuclear bombs, ready to take off in less than 4 minutes. Their objective, should they be called on to act, would have been to deliver their payload as part of a retaliatory strike to pre-assigned targets within the Soviet Union. The Vulcan's high altitude capabilities, speed, and electronic countermeasures meant that it was well suited to penetrate Soviet air defenses and reach their targets. And thankfully, other than for training purposes, the Vulcans and their crews were never called upon to act. As one pilot put it, "You always felt that if you were ever called out in anger, there wouldn't be much left of your country when you returned." In 1947, the UK government specified that it needed a high-speed, high-altitude, and long-range jet bomber capable of carrying nuclear weapons. The new bomber, which was needed to counter the growing threat from the Soviet Union post-World War II, would replace the UK's aging fleet of piston-engine bombers. A.V. Rowe and Company, or Avro, was tasked with designing and building the new aircraft. Their chief engineer, Roy Chadwick, envisioned a different and radical approach for the new bomber. He sadly would never see his design come to fruition. He was killed in a plane crash on 23 August 1947. And Chadwick was, however, succeeded by Stuart Davies, who shared his design vision. And Avro's engineers, along with Davies, saw the potential in a delta wing design that was inspired by German engineer Alexander Lippich. The V-shaped wing provided excellent lift and stability at high speeds and altitudes. And to reduce drag and improve the aircraft's aerodynamic profile, the plane's engines were incorporated into the wing roots. The streamlined fuselage served to enhance performance. The Vulcan's airframe needed to be strong in order to withstand the stresses placed on it during high-speed and high-altitude flight. But minimizing weight, as with all aircraft designs, was also a consideration. To accomplish both, engineers used advanced materials which included aluminum alloys and advanced construction techniques such as the use of a semi-monocoque structure. The Vulcan's cockpit design blended cutting-edge technology with operational efficiency. A pressurized compartment at the aircraft's nose housed the 5-man crew. The pilot and the co-pilot were positioned abreast, with the navigator, radar operator, and air electronics officer stationed behind them in a tiered arrangement. Now, Avro outfitted the cockpit with state-of-the-art instrumentation and control systems. The advanced suite provided the crew with comprehensive situational awareness and enhanced their ability to execute complex missions effectively. Initially, the Vulcan was designed with Rolls-Royce Avion engines, but the decision was later made to switch to the more powerful Bristol Olympus 104 engines. Each of the 4 engines was capable of producing 13,500 pounds of static thrust. Later variants were capable of achieving up to 20,000 pounds of thrust each. The first Vulcan prototype flew on 30 August 1952. Designated VX770, it was flown by Avro's chief test pilot, Raleigh Falk, and served to validate the Delta Wing's concept. And although it demonstrated the aircraft's impressive performance, subsequent tests weren't without issues. Engine reliability and aerodynamic stability were chief among them. VX777, the second prototype, featured numerous enhancements, including a revamped wing design and advanced avionics. This iteration further demonstrated the Vulcan's impressive capabilities, setting the stage for its transition to full-scale production. And Avro subjected the aircraft to an exhaustive battery of tests. Each evaluation yielded critical data, allowing the engineering team to refine the Vulcan's design and ensure it fulfilled its operational requirements with precision. And because Avro had no flight experience with a delta-winged aircraft, prior to the first two full-scale prototypes, a 1/3 scale experimental aircraft, designated the 707, was built. And the first of these smaller prototypes flew in September of 1949, but crashed a month later, killing the pilot. And 4 more would be built, however. They played a critical role in refining the delta wing design principles that would be used on the full-scale Avro Vulcan bomber. And after several years of rigorous testing, the Avro Vulcan B-1 entered service with the Royal Air Force in 1956. It, along with the Vickers Valiant and the Handley Page Victor, completed the RAF's V-bomber force, significantly boosting Britain's nuclear deterrent capability. In 1959, Avro initiated development of the enhanced Vulcan B-2, building upon the B-1's foundation. This advanced variant featured more potent engines, an optimized wing design, sophisticated electronic countermeasures, and the ability to refuel mid-flight. The B-2's augmented capabilities made it an ideal platform for the Blue Steel nuclear standoff missile. The B-2 substantially bolstered the Royal Air Force's nuclear deterrent, enhancing its ability to penetrate hostile airspace and strike critical targets with increased survivability. The Avro Vulcan emerged as a linchpin of the Royal Air Force's strategic bombing capability during the Cold War era. Engineered to meet the exacting requirements of modern warfare, the Vulcan distinguished itself through its exceptional high-altitude performance, impressive speed, extended range, and adaptable payload capacity. With a service ceiling surpassing 50,000 feet, the Vulcan operated beyond the reach of most enemy radar and anti-aircraft systems of the time. This remarkable altitude, combined with its innovative delta wing configuration, provided the aircraft with superior stability and maneuverability, making it a formidable challenge for enemy interceptors. Its top speed, exceeding 600 miles an hour, allowed it to outpace many contemporary fighter aircraft. This combination of high-altitude performance and velocity substantially increased the Vulcan's survivability in contested environments, solidifying its role as a crucial element of British nuclear deterrent strategy. The Vulcan's exceptional performance was sustained throughout its operational life by the formidable Bristol Olympus engines, celebrated for their potent thrust and unwavering reliability. These power plants were crucial in maintaining the aircraft's impressive capabilities over decades of service. A defining feature of the Vulcan's strategic significance was its extensive operational range. With the ability to cover approximately 4,000 miles without refueling, the bomber could penetrate deep inside hostile territory, striking distant targets with precision. And this far-reaching capability allowed the Royal Air Force to project power on a global scale, refining Britain's position as a credible deterrent force against potential adversaries, specifically the Soviet Union. The Vulcan's impressive range was further enhanced by its substantial internal fuel capacity. The innovative delta wing design not only provided aerodynamic benefits, but it also created ample space for fuel storage without compromising the aircraft's sleek profile. This ingenious integration of form and function significantly contributed to the Vulcan's long-distance performance, a critical factor in its strategic role during the Cold War era. The Vulcan's spacious bomb bay showcased its operational flexibility because it accommodated a wide range of armaments. In its early years, the aircraft carried Britain's pioneering nuclear weapons, including the Blue Danube and Yellow Sun, which formed the backbone of UK's nuclear deterrent and provided a robust response to potential adversaries, in this case, the Soviet Union. And it wasn't just a nuclear bomber. The Vulcan proved its versatility in conventional warfare as well. And this was dramatically demonstrated during the 1982 Falklands War, when the RAF deployed Vulcans in Operation Black Buck. These missions involved a series of extraordinary long-range bombing raids against Argentine positions in the Falkland Islands, showcasing the aircraft's adaptability and strategic reach. In fact, they were some of the longest bombing sorties in history. The Vulcan's operational prowess was significantly bolstered by its advanced avionics and electronic warfare systems. And both were at the cutting edge of the technology of the time. These technologies enabled the Vulcan to execute precision strikes with remarkable accuracy, even in challenging weather conditions. The Vulcan's 5-man crew configuration played a crucial role in the aircraft's operational success. It consisted of a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, radar operator, and air electronics officer. This division of responsibilities allowed each crew member to focus on specific tasks, enhancing overall mission effectiveness. For instance, with multiple crew members monitoring different aspects of the mission, the Vulcan maintained comprehensive awareness of its environment and mission parameters. And the specialized crew allowed the Vulcan to execute sophisticated operations, including precision bombing and electronic countermeasures. And because the crew was made up of 5 men, it allowed for task rotation during extended flights, which allowed them to maintain alertness and effectiveness. The Vulcan's sophisticated avionics and electronic warfare systems marked a revolutionary advancement in aerospace technology, maintaining the aircraft's strategic edge throughout its service life. At the heart of the Vulcan's avionics was the H2S radar system, providing accurate navigation and targeting capabilities even in adverse weather conditions. This technology enabled the aircraft to execute precision strikes with remarkable accuracy, a critical factor in both its nuclear deterrent role and conventional bombing missions. In addition to the H2S radar system, the Vulcan featured an automatic gun laying turret, or AGLT radar system. Working in conjunction, these two systems provided precise range and angle measurements to the target, which greatly enhanced bombing accuracy. In completing its offensive capabilities, the Vulcan boasted a comprehensive electronic countermeasure suite. This advanced system included radar warning receivers, chaff flare dispensers, and active jamming equipment. These defenses were designed to detect, analyze, and counteract enemy radar and missile threats. And just like so many iconic aircraft that came before her, the Vulcan was destined to one day take her last flight. In 1982, 6 Vulcans were converted to aerial refueling tankers and flew for 2 years. XH-558, the last Vulcan in military service, was finally withdrawn on 17 September 1984. It would continue to fly as a display aircraft with the RAF until 1992. In 2000, a group of aviation enthusiasts formed the Vulcan to the Sky Trust with the goal of raising funds to restore XH-558, dubbed the Spirit of Great Britain, to flight. And on 18 October 2007, that dream was realized when she made her triumphant return to the skies over the UK. She continued to educate and inspire until her final flight on 28 October 2015. The Avro Vulcan was an engineering marvel that served as a cornerstone of British nuclear deterrent during the Cold War, symbolizing the country's strategic capabilities and technological prowess. She captured public interest with her distinctive design and impressive displays, becoming an enduring symbol of British aviation heritage. The Vulcan's delta wing configuration and other design elements would influence subsequent aircraft development. And there is no doubt that because of the fear that she struck in the minds of the Soviets, the Vulcan played a major role in the preservation of peace, not only in Europe, but around the world during her operational life. Just like the British, the United States after World War II began to develop a jet-powered nuclear bomber to counter the growing threat of the Soviet Union. The result was the XB-70 Valkyrie. The Valkyrie was supposed to be the world's first supersonic bomber, but the emergence of other weapon systems and the high cost of the project doomed it from the start. Nevertheless, the XB-70 served to advance our understanding of supersonic flight and would influence the designs of jet aircraft for decades. To hear the story of the origins of this futuristic aircraft and why it never became operational, click the screen now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Dennis Gill for Revealing History.